Delegates clustered around the oval table, faces tight with suspicion as they exchanged sharp words and pointed fingers. The once orderly summit had begun to unravel, each accusation like a wedge driven deeper between factions. Alex Mercer stood at the edge of the room, his sharp eyes scanning the crowd, noting the subtle shifts in body language, the clenched fists, the narrowed eyes, the sudden silences that spoke volumes. "This is getting us nowhere," Alex said, his voice calm but firm as he stepped forward. "We're all here to prevent disaster, not to tear each other apart." His words landed like a pebble in a stormy sea brief, ripples that quickly gave way to crashing waves of distrust. Marcus Vale's gaze flicked to Alex, a shadow of a smirk playing at his lips, but his eyes remained calculating, unreadable. The tension between them was palpable, a silent contest of will and suspicion. "We need facts, not accusations," Dr. Lena Ortiz interjected from the corner, her voice steady as she held up a datapad. "The sabotage is targeting critical systems, but the pattern is erratic, almost as if the saboteur wants to sow confusion." Alex nodded, grateful for Lena's clarity amid the chaos. "Then we focus on the facts. We tighten security protocols and monitor all access points. Jenna, coordinate with Rog to increase patrols and system checks." Jenna Wu, alert and unwavering, gave a curt nod before slipping out to execute the orders. The station's corridors, usually humming with a quiet efficiency, now felt like a pressure cooker ready to explode. Every shadow seemed to harbor a threat, every glance a potential betrayal. Later, in the narrow zero-gravity corridor, Alex and Marcus faced each other, the silence punctuated only by the soft hiss of air circulation. Their breaths floated in small clouds as they circled warily. "You're hiding something," Alex said quietly, his voice low enough to avoid prying ears. Marcus's lips curved in a sardonic smile. "And you think I'm the only one? Trust is a luxury we can't afford here." Alex's eyes hardened. "Then help me find the saboteur before it's too late." Marcus hesitated, the tension between them thickening until he finally nodded. "For now, but don't mistake this for loyalty." Back in her lab, Lena Ortiz's fingers danced over the controls, her mind racing to keep systems stable. The hum of failing circuits echoed ominously as she traced the sabotage's path through the station's core. Sweat beaded on her forehead despite the chill of the environment. "We don't have much time," she muttered, her voice a mix of determination and worry. From the shadowed observation deck, Vivian Cade watched the fractures she had orchestrated widen. Her piercing blue eyes were cold, calculating each move with ruthless precision. Around her, the station's silence was a cloak, shielding her machinations from discovery. She smiled thinly, savoring the chaos. The summit's fragile unity was crumbling, and with it, the last hopes of a peaceful resolution. Alex knew the cracks in their alliance were more than mere fractures. They were fissures that could split the station apart, leaving it vulnerable to destruction. As the night deepened, so did the paranoia. Whispers echoed through corridors, alliances shifted like sand, and every shadow seemed alive with menace. Alex stood at the eye of the storm, determined to hold the pieces together. But with Vivian's shadow looming larger every moment, the question remained, could he contain the growing discord before it destroyed them all? The station's lights flickered briefly, a subtle reminder that time was running out. Alex tightened his grip on the tablet in his hand, steeling himself for the battle still to come. The fight for Helix 1 was far from over, and the true test of trust and betrayal was only beginning. "We need to be ready," Alex muttered to himself, eyes scanning the flickering readouts. "Because once the cracks widen any further, there may be no turning back. Outside, the infinite blackness of space stretched endlessly, indifferent to the turmoil within. Inside, every heartbeat echoed louder, every breath a countdown. The station was a pressure cooker, and the fuse was burning fast. Alex knew one thing with absolute certainty. In the void of space, trust was as fragile as the air they breathed in, just as vital. The chapter closes on Alex's determined gaze as he prepares to face the unraveling chaos, the weight of his responsibility heavier than ever. The shadows grow longer and the stakes higher. The summit teeters on the edge, and the next move will decide the fate of Helix 1 and everyone aboard. The shrill blare of alarms echoed through the vents and panels, bouncing off cold metal surfaces, vibrating through the bones of those aboard. Alex Mercer felt his pulse spike as he immediately snapped into action, the familiar sting of adrenaline sharpening his senses. Powers down, systems unstable. Raj Patel's voice crackled over the comms as Alex floated through the narrow maintenance corridor. The sudden silence of the station's usual hum was replaced by the intermittent crackle of failing equipment. Dr. Lena Ortiz's voice came in, steady but tense. Life support is holding, but only just. We've got minutes before critical failure. Alex's eyes darted over the emergency readouts projected on his wrist display. The station's power grid was hemorrhaging energy, the sabotage disabling key nodes faster than they could be patched. His breath caught as the station shuddered violently, a reminder that the safety of everyone on board teetered on a knife's edge. Roger's gloved hands worked expertly on a panel ahead, wires floating loosely in the zero gravity. Alex reached to steady a drifting tool before it collided with the wall, the clatter magnified in the silent vacuum. Lena's voice guided Raj through rerouting procedures, her scientific precision a lifeline amid chaos. Reroute auxiliary power through Sector 7. It's the only stable node left, she instructed, eyes glued to her portable console. Alex positioned himself to pass tools, his movements careful and deliberate, muscles coiled to react instantly if something went wrong. Time was a merciless enemy. Every second lost was another step closer to catastrophe. The station's delicate systems, designed for seamless orbital operations, were now battlegrounds for survival. Alex's mind raced, reviewing every detail of the sabotage patterns they'd uncovered so far. Whoever was behind this had intimate knowledge of Helix 1's infrastructure. A sudden jolt rocked the station, sending a cascade of loose items floating weightlessly. Alex caught a wrench mid-air, the cold metal a stark contrast against his sweaty palm. Raj grunted, steadying himself against a bulkhead as the tremor subsided. Structural integrity holding. For now, he reported. The team's coordination was flawless despite the pressure. Lena's voice remained calm, a steady anchor. Power levels are stabilizing, but it's temporary. We need a permanent fix, fast. Alex's gaze shifted to the control room's main screen, flickering with unstable data. The sabotage was far from over. He knew Vivian Cade's shadow loomed somewhere in the depths of the station's labyrinthine corridors, orchestrating the chaos with cold precision. Raj, can you isolate the source of the surge? Alex demanded. Roger's fingers danced over the interface, scanning for anomalies. Tracing. Got it. It's coming from the engineering bay's secondary conduit, likely a hidden device. Lena's eyes widened. If that goes critical, it'll cascade through the entire power grid. The station will be a tomb. Alex's jaw tightened. Then we stop it, now. The trio navigated the station's claustrophobic passages. The low hum of emergency systems underscored by the distant echoes of panicked voices and hurried footsteps. Every corner held potential danger, every shadow a possible ambush. Yet, their focus never wavered. Upon reaching the secondary conduit, Rog began dismantling the sabotaged components, his tools moving quickly but carefully. Alex kept watch, senses alert for any sign of interference. Lena monitored the system's response in real time. Suddenly, a sharp alarm sounded nearer to the command deck. Alex cursed under his breath. "We're running out of time." Roger's hands flew faster. "Got it. Device neutralized. Power is rerouting successfully." Relief washed over Alex, but it was tempered by grim reality. This was just one front in a larger war. The sabotage was escalating, and the saboteur was still inside Helix 1. Back in the control room, Alex stood beside Lena as power levels began to stabilize. The red emergency lights dimmed slightly, replaced by the steady glow of restored systems. Yet, the tension remained palpable. "We've bought ourselves some time," Alex said quietly, "but we're nowhere near safe. We need to find who's behind this before it's too late." Lena nodded, her face reflecting exhaustion and resolve. "And we will, together." Alex's eyes scanned the station's blueprints, the cold corridors and hidden compartments suddenly seeming more like a maze of threats. The race against time was far from over, and every second counted. As the alarms faded, a new determination settled within him. Helix 1 was more than a station. It was a crucible where trust and betrayal clashed, and survival demanded every ounce of courage and cunning he possessed. Outside, the infinite void of space stretched endlessly, indifferent to the fragile lives caught in its orbit. But inside, Alex Mercer was ready to fight, to protect, to uncover, and to endure. Alex Mercer's eyes, sharp and unwavering, locked onto the figure before him. Marcus Vale, the tall delegate, usually the picture of composed pragmatism, now seemed restless, his calculating gaze flickering with something darker beneath the surface. The tension between them was palpable, like the charged atmosphere before a lightning strike. "Marcus," Alex began, his voice low but firm, "we need to talk." Now, Marcus's lips curled into a faint, almost mocking smile. "You've been watching me closely. Careful, Mercer. Observation can be a dangerous game in this place." Alex took a measured step forward, reducing the scant distance between them. "Cut the games. I know you're not just here representing your corporation's interests. You've been playing both sides. Who are you really working for?" The question hung heavy in the recycled air. Outside the viewport, stars glittered faintly against the infinite blackness, a stark reminder of how isolated and vulnerable they all were. The station, Helix 1, was a fragile bubble in this unforgiving void, and the revelation of a double agent within could be the spark that ignited disaster. Marcus's eyes darted briefly toward the doorway where Jenna Wu stood silently, her posture tense, one hand near her sidearm. She was Alex's trusted subordinate, a steady presence amid the escalating chaos, but even her calm was stretched thin. "You don't understand the bigger picture," Marcus said finally, voice low and guarded. "I'm here to ensure my corporation's survival, whatever it takes. Loyalty is a luxury none of us can afford." Alex's jaw tightened. "That's just a convenient excuse for betrayal. You're sabotaging this summit, putting hundreds of lives at risk. Why?" Marcus's gaze hardened. "Because power doesn't negotiate, Mercer. It takes what it wants. And people like you are idealistic security officers, obstacles." A heavy silence fell. The room seemed to shrink, the weight of mistrust pressing down like the station's artificial gravity. Alex's mind raced, recalibrating every alliance, every piece of intelligence gathered so far. Marcus's duplicity was more than a personal betrayal, it was a threat to the entire mission. "You've crossed a line," Alex said quietly. "And now I have to stop you." Suddenly, Marcus lunged, swift and calculated, attempting to overpower Alex in the cramped space. The two collided, bodies twisting in zero gravity as they grappled for dominance. Alex's training surged to the forefront, fast reflexes, tactical precision, and sheer determination. Jenna sprang into action, her voice sharp as she ordered, "Break it up. Both of you, now." The struggle ended as quickly as it began. Marcus, breathing heavily, stepped back, eyes burning with defiance but acknowledging the stalemate. "This isn't over," he warned, before retreating into the labyrinthine corridors of Helix 1. Alex stared after him, the gravity of the situation settling in. Trust was shattered, alliances fractured, and the clock ticking relentlessly toward catastrophe. The sabotage was no longer a shadowy threat, but a tangible, immediate danger, one that required every ounce of his cunning and resolve to confront. As the door slid shut behind Marcus, Alex turned to Jenna, voice steady but resolute. "We tighten security. No one moves without clearance, and we find out who else is playing both sides." Jenna nodded, her eyes reflecting the weight of their shared burden. "Understood." Outside, the vastness of space remained indifferent, a silent witness to the human drama unfolding within Helix 1. In this crucible of tension and betrayal, Alex knew one truth above all: in the void, the greatest threat was not the cold of space, but the lies within. The summit was no longer just a corporate event. It was a battle for survival, and the lines had been crossed. The command center's lights flickered as Alex reviewed the latest surveillance feeds. Faces of delegates passed by on the screens, some familiar, some newly suspicious. Every interaction was a puzzle piece, every glance a potential clue. The betrayal had shattered the fragile sense of order, and now paranoia seeped into every corner of the station. His mind drifted briefly to Dr. Lena Ortiz and Chief Engineer Raj Patel, both working tirelessly to stabilize the station's faltering systems. Their efforts were a thin thread holding Helix 1 together amid the growing storm. But trust was a currency in short supply. The hum of the station's life support systems faltered momentarily, a minor glitch that sent a shiver down Alex's spine. Was it another sabotage attempt? He had to assume so. There was no room for error. Jenna approached, her expression grim but focused. "Intel just came through. There's unusual activity near the communications array. Could be another breach." Alex nodded, already moving toward the exit. "Then we're not waiting. Let's move." The corridors of Helix 1 stretched ahead, illuminated by the cold glow of emergency lighting. Every step echoed with the weight of impending crisis. The battle for the station's survival was intensifying, and Alex was right at its heart. Trust broken, alliances shattered, and a saboteur still lurking. In space, no one could hear you scream, but betrayal had a sound all its own. In the cramped briefing room, Alex gathered his closest allies. Faces were drawn, eyes wary. The fallout from Marcus's betrayal rippled outward, unsettling even the most steadfast among them. "We can't afford any more surprises," Alex said, voice steady. "We tighten protocols, double our patrols, and isolate any suspicious activity immediately. We're running out of time." Dr. Lena Ortiz nodded solemnly. "The station's systems are stretched to their limits. Another sabotage could push us beyond recovery." Raj Patel's hands clenched into fists. "Then we find the saboteur before they can strike again," Jenna added, "and keep our eyes open for anyone else playing both sides." Marcus isn't the only one with secrets here. Alex met their gazes, feeling the fragile thread of trust they still shared. It was tenuous, but it was a start. "We stay united," he said firmly. "Because divided, we're lost." Outside, the endless blackness awaited a reminder that in the void, survival depended not just on skill or technology, but on the fragile bonds between those who dared to trust. The lines had been crossed, but the fight was far from over. As Alex stepped into the silent corridors, the weight of the station pressed down on him. The zero-gravity environment played tricks on the senses, every sound amplified in the enclosed metal shell. The station was both a sanctuary and a trapper place where every breath, every movement, could mean the difference between life and death. His thoughts returned to Marcus Vale, the man whose duplicity had shattered the fragile peace. What had driven him to betray? Was it greed, ideology, fear? The answers were as elusive as the shadows that clung to the station's corners. Alex knew one thing with certainty. In this game of espionage and deception, the greatest threat was not always the enemy you could see, but the one who wore a friend's face. The countdown to disaster continued, and Alex Mercer was determined to be the last line of defense. The station waited, and so did the darkness. The hum of the station's life support systems was steady but somehow felt oppressive in the cramped space. His sharp eyes scanned the decrypted communication logs, piecing together shards of conversation intercepted over the past days. Finally, the pattern emerged with unmistakable clarity. Vivian Cade was at the heart of the sabotage network. "Got it," Alex muttered to himself, voice barely above a whisper. He leaned back, the chair creaking softly in the zero-gravity environment. The weight of the discovery settled heavily on his shoulders. Vivian, elegant and composed, had managed to hide in plain sight, manipulating events from the shadows. His mind raced back through their encounters, the poised smiles, the subtle insinuations, the coldness behind her piercing blue eyes. Now it all made sense. "Alex, you okay?" Dr. Lena Ortiz's voice crackled softly over the COM channel. Her image shimmered into view beside the main display, medium height, curly black hair framing a face marked with concern and resolve. "It's confirmed, Vivian Cade is the saboteur. I've got the evidence, intercepted comms, access logs, even traces of tampering linked to her ID." Alex's voice was steady, despite the adrenaline rushing through him. "We need to act fast," Lena replied. "The station can't take much more strain. Rog and Jenna are on standby for repairs and security support." Alex nodded, though she couldn't see it. "I'm assembling the team now." Marcus Vale's loyalties are still questionable, but his intel has been useful. We might need him. Reluctantly. The corridor leading to the security hub was narrow, lined with panels blinking with status updates and warning lights. Alex floated through it, his movements precise and controlled to counter the zero gravity. Loose tools and equipment drifted gently alongside him, their metallic surfaces catching the harsh overhead lights. Ahead, Chief Engineer Rog Patel and security team member Jenna Wu awaited, their expressions taut with anticipation. "Ready," Jenna said, voice clipped but steady, fingers tightening on her sidearm. Rog gave a firm nod, adjusting a utility belt loaded with diagnostic tools. "Systems are holding, but we don't have much time before the next attack." Together, they formed a tight-knit unit, each aware that failure was not an option. Alex's mind flicked back to Marcus's Vale, standing in the observation deck, his tall figure sharply dressed, face unreadable. Trust was a luxury they could barely afford, but Marcus's insider knowledge might tip the scales. Before moving out, Alex sent a secure message to Marcus: "Meet us at the command center. We need to finalize plans." Minutes later, Marcus appeared, his calculating gaze sweeping the room. "I don't like this," he admitted quietly. "But Cade's playing a dangerous game. If she succeeds, the entire power structure shifts." Alex's eyes narrowed. "Then we stop her. We end this now." As the team prepared weapons and reviewed tactical plans, the station's artificial gravity shifted subtly, the transition to zero-G corridors adding physical and psychological strain. Floating silently, they moved like ghosts through the labyrinth of Helix 1, every sensor and camera a potential threat or tool. The observation deck was their destination, Vivian's chosen lair. From the massive viewport, the stars twisted in endless darkness, a stark contrast to the claustrophobia inside. Vivian stood framed by the sprawling cosmos, her platinum blonde hair catching the dim light, eyes icy and resolute. "So predictable, Alex," she said without turning. "You think you can stop the inevitable. This station is a pawn in a far greater game." Alex tightened his grip on his weapon. "Not while I'm here." The ensuing confrontation was a blur of calculated moves, zero-gravity maneuvers, and sharp exchanges. Vivian's elegance belied a ruthless cunning, matching Alex's agility with cold precision. The fight tested every ounce of his training and resolve. Each moment a battle against not just her, but the betrayal and fear threatening to unravel the station. Finally, with a precise maneuver, Alex subdued Vivian, binding her hands with magnetic restraints. The threat was neutralized, but the cost was clear in the exhausted faces of his team. As they secured Vivian for transfer to the station's detention module, Alex allowed himself a brief moment of reflection. The saboteur was caught, but the scars of betrayal ran deep. Trust was fragile, and the fight for Helix 1's survival was far from over. "We did it," Jenna said softly, breaking the silence. "For now," Alex replied, eyes scanning the endless star field beyond the viewport. "But the real war is just beginning." The chapter closes on Alex's steely gaze, the weight of duty and uncertainty mingling in the endless void. The saboteur was revealed, but the orbit of lies continued to spin, and Alex was determined to hold the line, no matter the cost.